You know, I'm still trying to process this video, honestly.
Yeah.
Like every time I thought I had a handle on things, boom, another breakthrough hits you.
It's really incredible.
Today's deep dive is all about these AI breakthroughs.
Yeah, it's really the applications that are starting to like blow my mind.
Oh yeah.
Because we've been talking about this theoretically for so long.
Right.
And this tech news video that we're diving into today,
Yes.
it really captures that energy of like,
Oh, it does.
things are happening.
This isn't theory anymore. This is real. And it kicks off with Electronic Arts.
Okay.
EA,
All right.
The Sims,
Yeah.
Battlefield. I mean, these guys are giants.
Huge.
And they're using AI now to turn basically anyone into a game developer.
It's a huge shift.
Yeah.
You know, they're calling it imagination to creation,
Okay.
which, yeah, it sounds like a marketing thing, but when you see it in action,
Yeah.
it's like, no, this is real.
I mean, they showed a demo in the video, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it blew my mind. They were literally speaking their game worlds into existence.
Yeah.
It was build a medieval castle and boom, there's a medieval castle.
It's incredible.
Create a character that looks like, you know, a talking cat.
Yeah.
Boom, there it is.
And it's not just about like, you know, simplifying game development for people who already know how to do it.
Right.
I think it's going to be huge for like
Oh, yeah.
indie developers and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
People who have great ideas, they have stories they want to tell.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they don't need to go spend,
Yeah.
you know, 5 years learning how to code.
It could be a whole new renaissance
Oh, yeah.
in gaming,
Totally.
where it's not just these big studios anymore.
Right,
But
right.
anybody.
And speaking of creativity,
Okay.
Disney,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
They are teaching robots to dance.
Really?
And not like the robot, you know,
Right.
like step touch,
Not the robot.
fluid, expressive movements, like almost like watching, you know, a professional dancer.
So how are they doing that?
It's really amazing. And this is where it gets like really deep into AI.
Right.
They're using what's called reinforcement learning.
Okay.
So the AI is learning through trial and error,
Interesting.
just like a human dancer would.
Okay, so it's
Tries
never
a
just
move,
experimenting.
sees how it works,
Yeah.
adjusts, and over time, it develops this really amazing fluency.
That's fascinating. So, like, are there mistakes?
What really tripped me out
Yeah.
is that the robot learns from its own mistakes too.
Wow.
So those moments where it takes a wrong step, where it like stumbles a little bit,
Yeah.
the system's analyzing that too,
Interesting.
constantly refining those movements.
Wow. So it's literally like watching evolution in action,
It is.
but like on fast forward.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And the thing is, this goes way beyond the dance floor, right?
Right.
Think about robots having to navigate like the real world, which is messy,
Right. Unpredictable.
unpredictable,
Cool.
full of obstacles.
Yeah.
This kind of adaptive learning is key to making robots move with more natural grace and agility,
I see what you're saying.
which means that in the future, we could have robots helping us with everyday tasks,
Yeah.
not just in like controlled factory settings.
Right, because they'll be able to like
React
to their environment.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's cool. So as cool as the dancing robot is,
Okay.
this next one hits a little closer to home,
Okay.
especially if your home is an office building.
All right.
Have you heard of the Pudu D7?
I have not.
It's this new semi-humanoid robot
Okay.
from a Chinese company called PUD Robotics.
I've heard of PUD, yeah. They make a lot of those robots that you see,
Yeah.
like in workplaces and stuff.
Offices, industrial settings.
Yeah.
They're kind of known for that.
Yeah.
And this one, they're really leaning into this whole robot coworker vibe.
Okay. So what's it look like?
It's about the size of like a small dog with wheels. It's got these like arm-like appendages.
Okay.
And get this, a battery that lasts for a full workday,
Wow.
8 hours.
That's impressive.
They showed it in the video, zipping around, carrying trays, even opening doors.
No kidding. So like full on, like almost a colleague at that point.
I know, right?
It's amazing how this is becoming more and more specialized, you know?
Yeah,
It's not just robots in factories anymore. It's
Right.
like robots that can work in all these different niches.
totally. And this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Speaking of navigating,
Okay.
let's shift gears.
Okay.
Let's talk money,
All right.
AI money.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's a thing now.
Okay.
Middle Eastern funds
Yeah.
are pouring money into AI.
Interesting. So like venture capital, that kind of thing?
Yeah, but like massive scale.
Wow, okay.
We're talking sovereign wealth funds here.
Really?
These guys are going all in.
Wow. What countries are we talking about?
Saudi Arabia, UAE,
Okay.
Qatar.
Wow. So are they divesting from, like, oil and things? Or
We're looking to diversify
Interesting.
beyond oil. And AI is the new gold rush, right?
It seems like it. Yeah.
Get this. These Middle Eastern funds
Yeah.
have increased their AI investments
Okay.
5-fold
Wow.
in the past year alone.
That's a huge amount of money.
Huge.
That's a statement. So what's driving this surge?
They want a piece of the future.
Right.
They know that AI is going to be a dominant force in the global economy.
Right.
And they want a seat at the table.
Makes sense.
They're investing in everything. AI startups.
Yeah.
Established players.
Okay.
There's even talk about a potential mega investment
Yeah.
from the UAE's Mubadala fund, which has really close ties to like Uber and some of these big players.
Oh, wow. So they're really like strategically
Right.
placing their bets.
Oh, it's a high-stakes poker game.
Yeah.
With the future of AI on the line. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Not everyone is eager to cash in. The video mentioned Anthropic.
Okay.
Do you know them?
Yeah, they're kind of a competitor to OpenAI.
Exactly. They actually turned down funding from Mubadala.
Really? Why?
They cited national security concerns,
Wow.
which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Because it suggests that even at this early stage,
Yeah.
people are already thinking about
The implication.
the implications of that.
Absolutely. Like, who controls this technology?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking about technology that could revolutionize everything. I mean, this isn't just like, making our phones a little bit faster.
Right.
This is healthcare, defense.
Yeah, this is big stuff.
The stakes are incredibly high.
Absolutely.
And so while those battles are being waged,
Yeah.
the researchers, the people on the ground, so to speak,
Yeah.
are still hard at work trying to crack one of the biggest challenges in AI,
Okay. Which is?
sense of touch.
Oh, interesting.
Think about it. We can program robots to see, to hear, even to smell to some extent.
Yeah.
But touch,
Right.
the nuances of touch, being able to tell the difference between silk and sandpaper,
Yeah.
that's incredibly difficult to replicate.
I can imagine.
Even Mark Zuckerberg
Okay.
admitted that haptic touch in robots
Yeah.
is still a long way off.
It's a tough one to crack.
But his company, Meta,
Yeah.
they're not giving up. They're working with universities on a new technology
Oh,
called AnySkin.
AnySkin.
It's basically a sensor-laden skin
Okay.
that you can wrap around a robot's hand.
Oh, interesting.
And it allows it to sense textures, temperatures, all sorts of things.
So almost like giving a robot a sense of like its own physicality.
Exactly. And that's crucial if we want robots to really interact with the world in a way that's more human-like.
Right. Yeah.
So we've gone from dancing to feeling what's next.
Yeah.
Are robots going to be like writing our screenplays,
Right.
composing our symphonies?
It's
One area where we're seeing some really like groundbreaking stuff is in the realm of language and code.
Oh, interesting.
And it's not just OpenAI making waves anymore.
Okay.
Alibaba,
Right.
Chinese tech giant,
Yeah.
they're stepping onto the field with their own large language model. It's called Qwen 7B.
Qwen 7B.
Okay, so for those of us who, haven't gotten our PhDs in AI just yet,
Right.
what exactly are we talking about here?
Yeah, so a large language model, basically it's like a super powered brain
Okay.
that's been trained on a massive, massive amount of text and code.
Okay.
And it can understand and generate human-like text.
Oh, interesting.
It can answer questions,
Okay.
write different kinds of creative text formats.
So like Google Translate on steroids.
That's a very simplified way to put it.
Okay.
But essentially, yeah.
And what's interesting about Alibaba's
Yeah.
is they're positioning this as a more open source alternative
Oh, interesting.
to OpenAI's GPT-4.
So potentially something that's more accessible
Exactly.
to developers and researchers.
Which is a whole other conversation about the ethics of AI, who controls it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see like the AI landscape becoming truly global, right? Because for a while there, it seemed like
It was all Silicon Valley.
it was very much like a Silicon Valley game.
Right.
And now you have these companies like Alibaba
Yeah.
really stepping up.
Yeah. And saying, we're here too. We're innovating too.
Exactly.
And speaking of OpenAI,
Okay.
can we talk about their latest funding round?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because the numbers are insane.
Yeah, they're eye-popping.
Potentially $6.5 billion in funding.
Wow.
$150 billion valuation.
That's more than some countries.
I know. It's larger than the entire GDP of some small countries.
It's incredible.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And it really speaks to the level of expectation.
Right. It's like everyone's betting on them.
Everyone wants a piece of that OpenAI pie. Apple, NVIDIA,
Yeah.
Microsoft, even those Middle Eastern funds we talked about earlier.
Wow. So what makes them so attractive? Because, I mean, they're not profitable. Right?
They're not.
Yeah.
Which I think is the most fascinating part of this whole story.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what is it about them that's so captivating?
They have a vision. OpenAI has laid out a roadmap
Okay.
for AI development that
Yeah.
is so ambitious,
Okay.
so comprehensive.
Yeah.
It's like they've looked into the future
Right.
and they've come back and they're building it.
Wow. What kind of things are on this roadmap?
AI agents that can interact with the physical world,
Okay.
solve complex problems, things that, we would consider common sense.
Wow.
They're basically saying, we are going to create the future of intelligence.
It's a bold claim.
It is.
But you're right. They seem to have the resources and the talent to potentially pull it off.
They do.
It does feel a bit like investing in the internet.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like the early days of the internet.
Yeah.
Where nobody knew exactly how it was going to play out.
Yep. Right.
But they could feel it.
Yeah.
They could sense that this thing is
Yeah.
going to be huge.
The potential was there.
And now here we are again.
Yeah.
On the cusp of a similar revolution. The AI revolution.
It's exciting, but also a little bit daunting, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we don't know what the future holds.
We don't.
We know it's going to be big.
So we've got dancing robots, AI designing video games, massive investments from the Middle East.
It's a lot to unpack, right?
It really is.
Oh,
And I think the biggest question for me is,
Yeah,
what does all this actually mean for, our lives?
totally. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the hype cycle.
Oh, for sure.
But the real question is,
Yeah,
how is this going to touch our everyday experience?
exactly.
And I think in a lot of ways, it already is, but
Okay.
in ways that we might not even realize.
Oh, interesting. Like,
Think about the voice assistant on your phone,
okay.
the algorithms that are recommending books and movies to you.
Right.
Even some of the technology that doctors are using to diagnose illnesses.
Right.
These are all driven by AI.
Oh.
And they're already shaping our experiences.
Yeah, it's like AI is becoming this kind of invisible force, right?
Totally.
That's sort of guiding things behind the scenes.
Yeah, and making things more efficient.
Right.
More convenient.
Yeah.
In some cases, maybe even more entertaining.
Okay, but that's today.
Right.
What about tomorrow? I mean, what are we talking about 5-10 years down the line?
I think we're going to see AI being used to augment our own creativity,
Okay.
our productivity, even our connections with each other.
Interesting.
Imagine collaborating with AI on projects,
Okay.
using AI to personalize our learning experiences,
Okay.
maybe even experiencing the world through a robot's senses.
Okay, now you're just messing with me.
Yeah.
That sounds like a movie or something.
I know, right?
Like, that's a little too out there, don't you think?
It sounds like science fiction, but the line between science fiction and reality is getting blurrier all the time.
I guess you're right. Which kind of brings up, I think, an important point.
Yeah.
The ethics of all of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I mean, we can't just be out here creating all this crazy technology without thinking about
Right, the potential downside.
the consequences.
In
Exactly.
fact, this is something that, researchers and ethicists are thinking about a lot.
Okay, so, what are the big ethical concerns?
Well, bias is a big one.
Okay.
Making sure that AI isn't perpetuating existing biases
Right.
or even creating new ones.
Okay.
Privacy is another big one.
Sure.
How do we protect our data?
Right?
In a world where AI is collecting and analyzing so much information about us.
It's like every advancement feels like it comes with a whole new set of questions
It does.
and potential problems.
It's a double-edged sword for sure.
So what do we do about it? I mean, is it all just doom and gloom, or?
No, not at all. I think there's a lot of reason for optimism, but it requires us to be proactive.
Oh,
We can't just sort of sit back and let things happen.
So what do we do?
We need to have open and honest conversations
Okay.
about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
Right.
We need to establish some clear ethical guidelines
Okay.
for its development and use.
Right. So regulations and
Intentionally, yeah. We need to educate ourselves so we can make informed decisions.
right, because knowledge is power.
Exactly.
And speaking of knowledge,
Yeah.
you mentioned this earlier about experiencing the world through a robot's senses.
Oh.
I got to know more about that. How is that even possible?
Well, there's this company, IHMC Robotics. They're a nonprofit research organization in Florida.
Okay.
And they're developing this amazing technology that allows you to control a robot in real time using virtual reality headsets and body sensors.
So I could be like sitting here in my living room, but controlling a robot that's like, I don't know, exploring the Amazon rainforest.
Exactly.
Whoa, that's wild.
It's like teleportation, but for robots.
That is mind-blowing. So how does it work? I mean, what's the technology behind it?
Well, basically, you put on this VR headset and you see what the robot sees. And then you have these sensors on your body that track your movements. And those movements are translated into commands for the robot.
Wow. So if I move my arm,
the robot moves its arm.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So this has huge implications for like all sorts of fields, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about everything from exploration to like disaster relief, even like surgery.
Exactly.
This could change everything.
It really could.
It's both exciting and terrifying.
I know, right? Welcome to the world of AI.
I think I need a minute to process all of this.
Take your time. We've got more to come.
Okay. I think I'm ready to dive back in.
All right, you ready for the big question?
Hit me with it.
What does the future hold for AI?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. And like with any good mystery, I don't think there's one answer.
Right.
I think there's a lot of possibilities.
So where do we even start with that? I mean, what are some of the like key things to watch out for?
I think one of the biggest areas of research is AGI.
Okay, so artificial general intelligence.
Right.
Have you heard of that?
I have, yeah. It's like the holy grail of AI, right?
Exactly, like creating machines that can actually think like humans.
So not just do tasks, but like actually learn reason.
All of that, yeah. Basically create a synthetic human mind.
And how close are we to that? Are we talking like next year, or are we talking like 100 years?
I think most experts agree we're still a ways off.
Okay.
But the progress that's being made in machine learning and neural networks is really accelerating.
So it's really a question of when, not if.
Potentially. Yeah, and that brings us back to the ethics conversation.
Right, because if we're talking about creating machines that can think like humans, the ethical implications are huge.
Massive, and we need to be thinking about that now. So what are some of the things that we should be doing?
Well, for starters, we need to make sure that AI is being developed responsibly, that it's not perpetuating existing biases or creating new ones, and that it's ultimately used for good.
It's almost like we need some kind of like AI ethics council or something?
Yeah, something like that, or at least some kind of framework for guiding the development and deployment of this technology.
Because it's moving so fast.
It's really unprecedented.
So what can we do about it?
Right.
I mean, we're not all AI researchers.
Right, but we are all citizens of this world.
Okay.
And we have a responsibility to stay informed.
Okay.
To ask tough questions of the people who are developing these technologies.
All right.
And to advocate for policies that align with our values.
Because the future of AI is really up to us, isn't it?
It is. It's not predetermined. This is something we're creating together.
And that's a powerful message, I think.
I think so, too.
It's easy to get caught up in the fear.
Oh, for sure.
Or the excitement. But ultimately, the future of AI is what we choose to make it.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
I agree. And on that note, we've reached the end of our AI deep dive.
Wow.
From dancing robots to billion-dollar investments to the quest for artificial general intelligence, it's been quite a ride.
It has.
And as we've seen, AI is already shaping our world in countless ways.
It really is.
And it's only going to become more prevalent in the years to come.
Absolutely.
So as we venture into this uncharted territory, let's remember to proceed with both caution and curiosity.
I like that, caution and curiosity.
Because the future of AI is ultimately in our hands.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
This was fun.
Until next time, stay curious.